In addition to being a beautiful and interesting component of the natural world, pollinators play a key role in keeping our world humming along as we know it. Over 85% of the flowering plants on the planet require pollination in order to reproduce. And if they can't reproduce, they will ultimately go extinct. This enormous responsibility defines pollinators as a keystone species. Keystone species are those that have an inordinately large impact on their ecosystem relative to other species. A population decline in a keystone species can lead to a dramatic cascade of declines in other species or in the general health of the ecosystem. On the other hand, if a keystone species is thriving, the benefits ripple throughout the rest of the ecosystem, preserving biodiversity, health, and resilience. There are more than 100,000 species of invertebrate pollinators on the planet. This includes bees, butterflies, wasps, ants, moths, flies, and beetles. In addition, there are over 1,000 species of vertebrate pollinators, including some species of birds, bats, and a few small mammals and reptiles. Bees are perhaps some of the most well-recognized pollinators, while honeybees are certainly pollinators and provide us with delicious honey to boot. They are not native to the United States. There are, however, more than 4,000 species of native bees in the United States. Many of these are highly efficient pollinators and play a crucial role in the health and vibrancy of our natural environment, preserving biodiversity, and in turn, our own health. It is while collecting resources for their own use that pollinators facilitate reproduction in flowering plants. As pollinators go about the business of gathering nectar and pollen, male pollen grains are inadvertently transferred to female receptors, allowing reproduction to occur. Intricate relationships between plants and pollinators have evolved over millennia. Some plants are visited by numerous pollinator species and can be pollinated by any of the visitors, while other plants can only be pollinated by a single species of pollinator. In turn, some pollinators can effectively utilize resources from a number of different plant species, while other pollinators may rely on only a single species of plant in order to survive. Both pollinators and plants are adapted in ways that encourage successful pollination. For example, the long proboscis of the hummingbird moth and the long bill of the hummingbird allow these species to gather resources from flowers that hold their nectar or pollen deep within. Plants also adapt in size, shape, color, and scent to best attract and accommodate pollinators. One unique adaptation that bumblebees utilize is buzz pollination. By rapidly vibrating their flight muscles, bumblebees shake loose pollen in flower species that do not readily release it. This video shows a bumblebee collecting pollen from a nightshade. The sound we hear is the vibration created by the wing muscles, which is happening so fast we can't see it even at greatly reduced video speed. But notice how the tips of the petals vibrate once the bee is organized on the flower and begins the process. Successful pollination of flowering plants preserves abundant plant species, protecting a rich biodiversity which functioning ecosystems depend upon to remain vibrant and to provide the services that all species, including humans, depend on. In fact, pollinators are directly responsible for 1 in 3 bites of food that humans eat, and indirectly responsible for much more. Many of these foods are among the most nutrient-dense foods available to us and include apples, cherries, squash, avocados, apricots, almonds, blueberries, mangoes, cashews, bananas, chocolate, and a whole lot more. Even plants that don't require pollination often have higher yields when visited by pollinators. Tomatoes, peppers, coffee, and even soybeans fall into this category. From the food we eat to the flowers we enjoy to ecosystem health and biodiversity on the planet, Pollinators play a critical role in making it all happen. With their extraordinary diversity of sizes, shapes, colors, and habits, pollinators add so much beauty and wonder to our world. Recent dramatic declines in pollinator populations worldwide have raised alarms about the health of pollinators and the impacts on the environment and ourselves. Pollinator decline is generally attributed to habitat loss, pesticide use, and introduced pests and diseases. If you'd like to help protect pollinator populations, steps you can take include supporting a farm and food system that relies on agricultural practices that increase soil biology and biodiversity through organic or regenerative methods, foregoing chemicals in your food and on your yard, and adding habitat and natural spaces that attract and provide safe havens for pollinators. For more information on pollinators and how to do your part to protect them, please visit the Kansas Rural Center website at www.kansasruralcenter.org/pollinators.